Good morning. Thank you so much for joining me today. Let's get into the Bible. Today we're going to look at 1 Corinthians chapter number 9, and we're going to look at verse number 25. Excuse me, 1 Corinthians 9:25. The Bible says, "And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible." Every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. That word temperate means to be self-disciplined, to be self-controlled, to not allow your appetites to rule you, to take over, but rather, your mind ruling over the body so that you can achieve something, you can master something. And I've had the privilege of meeting some masters, of a certain skill or whatnot, and and I'm sure you have too. I think of our professor in the jiu-jitsu gym. He is a master of his craft, of his art, and also I think of I've met many piano players, some even professional piano players who were masters of their skill, in playing an instrument, not just piano, but many different instruments. And one thing, excuse me, one thing for sure that they all have in common, whether they are a master of music or a master of martial arts, or even a master in a trade, a carpenter, or things like that. Which again, I've met some who were masters of that trade as well. One thing they all have in common is that in order to get to where they were, they really had to give up a lot of things. While perhaps some of their friends were partying, they were honing in and perfecting their skill, mastering their skill, so to speak. And there were many moments in their lives where they had to exercise self-discipline, self-control, and focus on mastering whatever it is that they're trying to achieve. And they had to be temperate to do it. And again, no matter what the field is, they all share that in common. And likewise, the ones that didn't end up mastering, perhaps they tried, but they just were never able to master it. Those are the ones that were not so temperate, right? The ones that were not so self-disciplined or self-controlled, and their appetites allowed to make the decisions for them, and they chose their appetites over the mastery. And Paul here is saying that those who strive for the mastery is temperate in all things. They're self-disciplined, self-controlled. But he's saying, when they do it, when people in the world do it, to master whatever skill or sport or art or whatever it is they're trying to master, they do it to obtain a corruptible crown. And of course, the verse previous, he was talking about a runner, masters running fast and trying to win a race. But whatever the medal or crown or prize, it's corruptible. But for those of us who are trying to master being a Christian, a follower of Christ, a child of God, we strive for an incorruptible crown, something that someday we will get in heaven that can never be corrupted. And it is worth the sacrifice. Absolutely worth the sacrifice to to show temperance, to have self-control, to be disciplined. Anytime I get to meet any kind of a master of anything, they always say, oh, it was absolutely worth the sacrifice for me to be able to do this. And when I meet someone who didn't get to master whatever it is, they wish they would have made the sacrifice so that they can gain that mastery and that prize that comes with it. Let me tell you, there is going to come a day when we all go to heaven and we get our prizes in heaven. And let me tell you, whatever you do for Christ will be worth it. I'm going to stop right there. Thank you so much for joining me today. God bless you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.